Grass isn't always greener. We've been talking for weeks and weeks and weeks, and everyone has been talking about EA and Battlefront and what's been going down with the microtransaction business. So, Destiny 2 game has had decent success. Player base is falling off a lot recently. Here's kind of what has happened over the past week. So, players started... First off, you can buy microtransactions in this game that loosely give you in-game advantages, at least in the early game, and they give you items that are desired regardless. So Destiny 2, a lot of players were noticing that they weren't leveling up at an appropriate rate. Like, numbers weren't correlating. You weren't getting the experience that you deserved. And what people actually found out, people did the math. They started doing missions. They kept track of the enemies they killed. They kept track of the missions they were doing. They said, I should have this much experience at the end. I should be leveled up. And leveling up, obviously, to some extent replaces these microtransactions. They found that they weren't getting enough experience. Not only were they not getting enough experience, but players who were playing more frequently were getting less experience. So they were throttling the experience you were getting. And they, proved it. Pretty mathematically. And they sent it out to Bungie, who historically does not respond. So, two things. One, I'm not a game developer, but I am a software developer. Experience isn't fucking magic. It's summation of numbers. This is going to be hard to accuse as a bug. Let me just put it that way.
There's no fucking way.
You're adding numbers and people who play more get less. No, that doesn't work. Okay, anyways, so...
It used to be different, but then a weird bug happened.
If you remember a couple podcasts ago, we just talked about the patent that Activision put out. I know this is not necessarily the same thing, but it is essentially the same thing. Throttle a person's experience so they buy more loot boxes.
So Bungie responded and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna work on that. Sorry guys." So what they did, they worked on it. Apparently there's no trace of this system currently being in place, which is good. The bad thing is, it takes twice as much experience to level up in general now for everything.
Fixed it.
So yeah, that's
wonderful. One
way to fix it. And they have refused to comment since they made that, update. So that's kind of where we're at with Activision right now. It's interesting because you can, in theory, the items that you would get from leveling up benefit you in the same indirect way that buying microtransactions, buying loot boxes could ultimately benefit you.
Which is to say that buying loot boxes, if for instance, so imagine a world where you're playing Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And you were having a great time. And all of a sudden, it takes twice as long to level up. And now, for some reason, you're frustrated by this experience. Hypothetically, now Chris, just clear this up for me. Hypothetically, you could purchase loot boxes, and that coincidentally would replace the amount of time that it actually added.
Yeah.
So you could use this to substitute.
Well, not to mention...
So in a perverse way, this almost incentivizes buying loot boxes.
In a subconscious way. This is not advertised.
Really shocking. That's a weird coincidence.
The throttling of all this is... You're targeting the people who play more often, the people who like your game more, the people who are perhaps more willing to slip out $5.
That is a really unfortunate coincidence.
$5 or $50.
Bungie is going to be furious. They're going to feel really poorly.
This bug is going to,
Dude, they must be so embarrassed that they did that.
Really rough.
I'm sure they'll get this straightened out right away.
Bug.
I mean, there's always the other situation where you could just go play Warframe for free and not have to pay anything.
Dude, Jake cucks for Warframe. Jake, are you paid by Warframe?
Get wrecked. Yes, please, DE, please pay me. Please.
This is kind of what I was saying the other day, though. I think as gamers, we can't rest on our laurels, and I know we're going to talk about EA in a little bit, but we can't rest on our laurels in the case of EA and any perceived success there, because just because we, might have done a little damage to EA, that I think that the real issue here is the fundamental kind of game industry, and we have to somehow approach this problem, because this is just going to continue happening. And sometimes it'll be done in a way that's tasteful enough or not so overt or money grubbing enough that we'll be like, but this game's good, so we'll just play it. And then this will continue to happen in the future, and we'll all be frustrated, and games will be worse. And I don't think that's what any of us want.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts that this is almost to me worse than what EA was doing, because at least EA was like
I think
upfront
EA is
about
still
it.
You
worse.
knew what you were buying with
Yeah,
EA.
like, you weren't
But that's
being
true.
You bought
this
Destiny.
wasn't some under the hood thing that was going on. They said this is what it's going to require for you to.
Although, let's be fair, EA did change the experience for reviewers
They did.
before
So
they
they did.
launched the game. So I
And-
guess it's pretty similar.
It seems decently more game breaking in EA 2. Like, it seems hard to imagine how you even play Battlefront 2 without loot boxes. Conceivably, you could just play a lot of Destiny.
Yeah.
Because it's not a randomized progression.
I mean, the whole point of Destiny 2 is to level up and grind, so that's the other thing.
And it's you said now that the ultimate solution is that they've just, doubled the amount of experience you need. So that is at least also even across the playing field. You know, it's initially they were targeting the more dedicated gamers.
Yeah.
But at least now, it seems like they're just at least being equitable about it. So, like, you could just, approach it as like, now it's a really hard game, really grindy game. It's still shit. Like, this is still cool.
Don't be mistaken. Fuck Bungie, guys.
No. Fuck Bungie. And also, like, it is transparent in the sense that Activision, like, last month or whatever, a month and a half ago, they were like, oh no, yeah, we're taking out the pad. Here it is. It's public. And we're going to fuck you guys in like a year. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When it comes, it'll come.
Yeah, I believe the official press release is this is not currently in any Activision or Blizzard games.
But, like, they were pretty transparent about, like, no, we're coming for your wallets. We're coming. We're coming. Don't worry about it, guys.